In the headlines, the tension between the United States and China over the currency and trade. The United States claims that the yuan has been manipulative. Do you think that the Chinese economy has posed certain threats to the U.S. economy recently?
Really, United States in a difficult situation. And they taken the forbidden steps in economy. They started printing money without a cover in the Federal Reserve. They print they print 600 billion US dollars without cover. Why they print?
The housing problem,
yeah,
also did a share.
Yeah, the problem is the American debt is $13 trillion US dollars, 13 trillions. And why they print? They print money to reduce the value of this debt to pay less. And they would like also to, as you know, there is 750 billion US dollars, the American investment inside China. And they would like to put China under pressure. And from now, we are saying China will not obey the American instructions because of the Europeans. The Europeans, they are running now to China to have a real agreements. And China announced the last statement 1 week ago. They said we will support the European countries in the matter of debits, of the European debits.
Right.
Then the Europeans taken also. I would like to say that is not a right steps, but U.S. is not cannot support them now. They run to China. And also they will support China to replace the United States in many places all over the world.
Since we're talking about European debt, I guess this debt crisis also has been in the headlines, starting with Greece and then Portugal, Spain and other European countries follow suit. The European debt crisis and how far it affected the global economy.
The Europeans... First, the Europeans, they fall because they ignore the scientific and administration and management since the last 10 years. So, for these reasons, now they are suffering. And they, to refresh themselves, they need 10 to 15 years. Now,
despite the bailout that has been there, they took a bailout from the IMF and from the EU.
Yes.
All this, did it help re-energize the situation?
No, but I would like just to tell one point. The last European summit held in Brussels in 16 and 17 December, they just gave a statement to the people, we promise we will do our best. That is the statement of the European leaders. They said to the nations, we will do our best. Without a rescue plan, without a clear rescue plan, without a schedule. They are just given a talk. And all the European countries working separately. And now they go out, they are not working under the banner of the European Union. And if you will follow the last statement, Nicolas Sarkozy in France introducing himself as a sole leader. Berlusconi in Italy the same. Angela Merkel said there is no. She would like. She said we need to reduce the budget of the Union. If you will reduce it, how you will support the other countries like Ireland and Greece?
Right.
So they are working separately, each one supporting himself only. And I think they need a rescue plan, and the major point in this rescue plan is to go out of the Eurozone and to return back to the old currency, to reduce the value of the currency, and then to encourage the export. Yeah.
On the other dimension. Right. The G20 summit is always an economic event to look forward to. What were the objectives on the agenda of 2010 and the fruits, the outcome of that meeting?
Now, in the global, in this international economy, we lose the agreement between us. and Europe working separately, China working separately, and now we have other countries like Japan is not
growing as fast.
Is not growing as fast,
right.
But they announce the biggest budget in the history of Japan, 1 billion, point 1.
Yeah. Is this due to the fact that we do have lots of countries appear to be emerging economies and appear to be powerful in 2010? Did this change the criteria and the outlook of the economy globally?
I think Japan will grow. Japan will grow.
We have India.
India is achieving progress, but with the Chinese support, because 10 days ago, the Chinese minister visited India with 600 businessmen, and he signed agreements to invest in India more than $50 billion. And the same in Pakistan, signed agreements to invest more than $30 billion. So China is replacing the United States, and within 10 to 15 years, China will be the sole leader in this area, and we are warning from now that most of the countries doing the wrong steps now, and they will suffer with the control of China as the world in the next future.
Right. Brazil and South Africa, how do you read them, especially after the South African economy had been given a boost by the Soccer World Cup event? I guess that had a good reflection in 2010.
Yes, because as you know, they invest in too much in this economy, and South Africa is not suffering too much from the economy, because they have international relationship, and the facilities of the investment in South Africa, it's a very is giving the trust to the investors to invest there. They are protecting the investment, highly protection for the investors. Yes.
Gold and foreign currency market has also been in the headlines, looking like being chaotic in a way or another, right? Gold prices had reached peak highs in 2010. Why are the reasons behind that?
The gold prices go high because the value of the US dollars came down. So that is because the history of the gold since 50 years ago, if the US dollar will go high, the gold price will go down. If the US dollar value will go down, the gold price will go up. That is because also there is the investors, most of the people all over the world, the billionaires and the companies reach for investment. They invest in the currency. In dollars, and now the currency is not giving the trust because of the owner of the dollars. You can say the owner of the or the countries. They have the know-how of US dollar. United States is in a weak situation right now. So most of them now asking for the gold, and that's the second reason to the high prices of gold.
Right. Dr. Alfy, before leaving 2010, the snowstorms were there, northeast of the United States and also in Europe. And there are estimates here that it postponed nearly $1 billion in sales. How far do you think such a phenomenon, the snowstorms, could affect the economic situation in those countries?
Regarding affection of the storms, they are used at this kind of crisis, and they know how to deal with.
They prepare for it.
They prepare for it, and they know how to deal with.
Right.
But the real point and that the United States are not afraid at the U.S. economy because they have a great wheel of resources, and they can refresh themselves fast within 4 to 5 years, and they must stop the military adventures all over the world, and stop creating wars for others to sell military equipment, because that is all these crises will return back to them again. And now the U.S. administration lost the trust of to deal with many countries all over the world after the WikiLeaks statement. Also, they lost the trust of the others.
Right. Dr. Alfy, before leaving you, we can talk about the world banking reform system. I guess this is also an issue that is going to be on the table further in 2011.
Yeah. Globally, for example, in some economics like Ireland, like Greece, they should reduce the number of the operating banks in them countries. For example, there is a huge number of operating banks inside Ireland. If they would like, that is a very that is important advice for them to reduce the number of the operating banks inside these countries to control this economy well.
Right. Dr. Mohamed El-Alfy, international economic expert, we thank you very much for remembering and refreshing our memory and highlighting the most important economic events that happened during 2010. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Happy New Year to you also, dear viewers. That was a recap of 2010 on the political and the economic fronts. On behalf of myself, Taghreed Hussein, and my colleague Dina Osman, have a very good year. Have a year full of love, happiness, and peace of mind above all. Thanks for watching.